Hey guys, in the previous session, we have learned about tax and GST. We have also understood why GST was implemented and how GST is helpful to the businesses. Going ahead, have you ever seen different kinds of rates are charged, like on restaurant bills, on electronic items, 5% GST, 12% GST, 18% GST and so on? Have you ever wondered how these rates gets decided and on what basis it gets decided?
And friends, if you like our session, don't forget to like and share with your friends and subscribe to our channel, that is Lextute Accountancy, and hit the bell icon to get the updates for further videos. Also, we have our website, that is www.lextute.com, on which you will get all the accountancy courses at very minimum prices, where we have tried to cover all the concepts with problem solving, with study material. So do check that out.
So, in today's session, we will understand the standards of classification of goods and services, which is the base of GST. Today, the world is a marketplace with traders making their goods and services available to every nook and corner of the world. It has thus become important to have a common understanding of goods and services among the countries by speaking the same trading language irrespective of their national boundaries. So, under GST, all the goods and services are classified under two heads, that is HSN code and SAC. Let's begin with HSN, which stands for Harmonized System of Nomenclature. This system has been introduced for systematic classification of goods all over the world. The HSN code is an 8-digit uniform code that classifies 5,000 plus products. It was developed by the World Customs Organization and is universally accepted. The HSN helps taxpayers to search GST rates by just entering the HSN code. For example, HSN code for handkerchiefs made of cotton is 62132000. The other one is SAC. This stands for Service Accounting Code. Services are also classified just as goods and are given unique code. The SAC is a 6-digit code which also helps to search GST rates for different services provided. For example, SAC code for courier services is 996812. Further, moving on to UQC, this stands for Unit Quantity Code. While filing the GST return by a regular dealer, details of UQC are asked. The intent of using UQC in GST is to maintain a standardized terminology for the units of measures. Since every taxpayer could use different names for the same unit, it becomes difficult for the department to track. For example, one taxpayer may use kgs and other taxpayer may use kilos as a unit to denote kilograms. So, the kgs is a common unit to denote kilograms. Also, in case of numbers, some dealers may use NO as unit to denote numbers, but as per UQC, the common unit for number is NOS. So, after understanding these codes, moving ahead, have you ever seen that in your restaurant bill, after the subtotal, that is the amount you spent on your meal, they have charged tax but used the terms like CGST and SGST and then added them to get the net total that you are supposed to pay? You must be wondering, what's that now? CGST and SGST are nothing but the classification of GST, and now we will understand that in detail. India is a federal country where both the center and the state have been assigned the powers to levy and collect taxes. The three types of tax structures, that are CGST, SGST or UTGST and IGST, are implemented to help the taxpayers to take credit against each other, thus ensuring one nation, one tax. The first one is CGST, that is Central Goods and Services Tax. Under GST, CGST is levied by the central government on intrastate supplies, that is supplied within the state of both goods and services, and it is governed by CGST Act. It is levied at half of the prescribed rate. Next is SGST, that is State Goods and Services Tax. Under GST, SGST, which is also levied on intrastate, that is within the state supplies of both goods and services by state government, and it is governed by SGST Act. It is also levied at half of the prescribed rate. Let's take an example to understand the bifurcation of GST. Suppose Varun is a dealer in Maharashtra who purchased goods worth 15,000 from Kushal in Maharashtra, which means this is an intrastate transaction. The GST rate on this goods, say, is 18%. Now, this 18% will be equally divided into CGST 9% and SGST 9%. Thus, CGST will amount to 1350 and SGST 1350, and the total tax payable is 2,700. The total amount payable would be 15,000 plus 2,700, that comes to 17,700. Hope you have understood the above topics and logic behind them very well. Next is UTGST, that is Union Territory Goods and Services Tax. Have you heard about this? This is also a type of GST where UTGST is levied on goods and services supplied within the 5 territories of India. These territories include Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, Chandigarh, Lakshadweep, Daman and Diu. SGST cannot be applied in a union territory without legislature, and that is the reason UTGST was introduced. But SGST is applicable in 2 union territories, which is New Delhi and Puducherry, since both have their individual legislature and can be considered as states as per GST process. UTGST contains the same tax rates as SGST, and just as SGST is added to CGST, in place of SGST, UTGST will be charged in addition to CGST. Let's take an example. Suppose Varun is a dealer in Chandigarh who purchased goods from Kushal in Chandigarh, which means it is a transaction within the union territory worth 10,000. The GST rate is, say, 18%. Now here again 18% will be equally divided into CGST 9% and UTGST 9%, and not SGST, as this is an intra-union territory transaction. Thus, CGST will be 900 and UTGST 900, and the tax payable would be 1800, and the total amount payable will be 10,000 plus 1,800, that is 11,800. Now consider that a businessman Varun from Maharashtra has purchased goods worth 1 lakh from Kushal of Kerala at 18% GST. How will be the GST calculated and the total amount payable? Did you notice something here? Yes, here this is a transaction took place between the 2 different states, that is Maharashtra and Kerala, which means SGST or UTGST and CGST will not come into picture, as they both are considered only when the transaction is within the state or within the union territory. Then, how will you charge GST? The answer is IGST, that is Integrated Goods and Services Tax, which is a tax levied by the central government on all the interstate, that is across the different state supplies of goods and services, and it is governed by IGST Act. It will be also applicable in both the cases of import into India and export from India. So here the GST will be calculated at 18% on 1 lakh directly without any bifurcation under the heading IGST. Thus, the dealer has to pay 18,000, that is 1 lakh into 18% as IGST, and the total amount payable would be 1,18,000. Isn't this GST easy to understand? So, summarizing the above classification, we come to this conclusion that there are 3 basic combination of taxes applicable for any transaction. First is for supply of goods and services within the state, that is intrastate. The combination is CGST and SGST. Second is for supply of goods and services within a union territory, that is intra-union territory, except New Delhi and Puducherry. The combination is CGST plus UTGST. And lastly, for the supply of goods and services across the state and or union territory or imports or exports, only IGST is applicable. And last but not the least, let's have a quick look over this curated list of GST rates structured for the various goods and services classified across the different GST tax slabs. Now these rates need not be learned for your examination, as generally questions specify these rates, but it is for your reference and is always good to be updated. So that's all for today. Let's have a quick review of what all we covered in today's session. Today we learned about the two standards of classification of goods and services, that is HSN and SSC, and then what is UQC. Then the classification of GST into CGST, SGST or UTGST, and IGST, and the three basic combination of taxes applicable for any transaction. And lastly, we also had a quick review of the GST tax rates. I hope you have enjoyed learning something new about GST. We will continue understanding of GST in next session, where we will be covering the categories of GST for accounting purpose.
If you have any doubt or any queries related to any item or any account, do post in the comment section below. Also, you can become our Prime member by clicking the join button below, where you will get access to many perks at very affordable prices. And if you like our videos, then do subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you will get the updates for all the videos uploaded in future. See you all next time. Till then, keep watching, keep learning. Thank you.